manager, because I've got people from, let's say, sort of 17, 18-year-old up until Bernie's about the oldest. He's about 76, something like that. And it's what I like about it, it's really simplistic. Well, I believe it is. Totally drag and drop. Everything's easy enough to play in it. So hopefully everybody can get on with it okay. So I'll just get my glasses so I can read the questions. And then you tuck it in.
Yeah, all right. So, I'm an expert at keeping out of the way.
Right, okay.
Oh, look at this.
The vinyl, yeah.
The vinyl.
I was on about it.
Oh, my lordy.
Anymore.
It's a shame because
You've got no facility to play them on.
well, we're not online. We have got turntables, but we don't use them anymore. Anything
Bernie used to use
Used
it,
to.
didn't he? But he don't use it anymore.
basically, Simon, anything from about 1958
Yes.
all the way through to about 1988. So you will find some little gems.
Oh no, it's just wonderful to see.
And that was one person's record collection.
No, I can imagine. I knew several people.
Yeah.
And they have an encyclopedic brain. They seem to have trained their hand.
That's
so
right.
they would look that way, and their hand would do that,
And just pull it
and put it
out.
out. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's true. It's
So
true.
LPs with Barry, isn't it? He got LPs at home.
Great.
Oh yeah,
Loves his LPs.
wouldn't part with those.
Okay, I'll just do a couple of tests. Right, and I'll just bring that bit closer to your side.
Right, do you want to do a test?
Yes,
Right.
I do, please.
Oh, hang on, I've broken it already.
Oh, no, don't worry about
Bangle.
it.
There we go.
Right, okay, let's just get that on. Oh, I can hear that. Lovely. Lovely. What? Right, okie dokie, I'll just do mine as well. Yes, there we go. And it's that one a bit more. Right, okay. Get that going. Right, can you turn this, either shut this door or turn them speakers down, Craig?
Yeah.
That's it, otherwise, because it picks everything up, this microphone does.
Wow.
Okay, are we all ready?
Think so?
Okay. What I've got, Simon, just a few straightforward questions, which I think hopefully you'll find interesting. I hope so. Anyway, so we'll see how we go with it. All right.
Okay.
So right, good. Here we go. Hello and welcome to a very special Castle Mead Radio chat here at Castle Mead Radio. Today we have a very special guest in the studio. It's Simon Becker Fisher. Hello, Simon.
It's a Simon Fisher Becker.
Do you know, I knew I was going to get it the wrong way round.
No, never mind.
Every time. Why do I do that?
You've got both half of my names there.
I'm sure we can edit it round the right.
Simon Fisher Becker, SFB.
Yes. I like it.
SFB. Yeah.
I shall remember that. Now, some of our listeners may not be immediately aware of the work which you've done, but as soon as we start talking about it, I'm sure they'll know who you are. Now, you're probably best known for playing Dorium Moldavar.
Dorium Moldavar.
You said it even better than me.
Dorium Moldavar.
Yeah.
I'm large.
Yeah.
Well, actually. Yeah.
And that is, of course, in the TV series
Yes.
Doctor Who. But before we talk about
I'm old, I'm fat, and I'm blue.
That's right. Yes, it is. That is the
Blue
character.
Man.
Yes, the Blue Man. But before we talk about Doctor Who and all the rest of it, I'm really interested, Simon. How did you get into acting?
Oh, well, actually, that's it is a bit of a puzzlement, actually. Some people say I haven't got into it at all. I was started out in the civil service.
Did you really?
Yes, when I left school. At school, I did sort of amateur dramatics and things like that. So that was how I got the bug.
Right.
I fell into the civil service. The civil service paid for my degree.
Oh, that was very nice.
But
of them.
because they were paying for it, I
Right.
had to do a proper degree. They wouldn't consider anything in the arts wasn't considered proper.
No.
So
Yeah.
the stories never changed.
Yeah, right, you got to get a proper job.
So I did business administration, specialising in the arts.
Oh, right. I see.
And part of the deal was that I would stay on for 4 or 5 years afterwards. But by the time I did my degree, they wanted to get rid of civil servants. So they gave me a load of money to go. Today they call it redundancy. Then they said you're free to go.
Just like that,
No,
yeah.
had I chosen to go, which I did,
Right.
they'd give me some money. And so I used the money to do a postgraduate drama postgraduate qualification, where I met Denham Elliott.
Oh, yes.
And he encouraged me a lot. So that's how I thought. Came to the point, this crossroads, what do I do? Do I stay in the civil service, which I would have probably sort of way into nothing.
Right.
Within 5 years, or do I go into the exciting world of entertainment? So that's what I did. I did a postgraduate course, and with the encouragement of Della Elliott and a few other people, I just fell into acting.
Oh wow! Yeah. Can you remember your sort of first important role that you did?
The first professional production I did was a production of Alice in Wonderland.
Oh right, yeah.
And I played the Griffin.
Oh right,
yes,
yeah.
And this here young lady wants to know your history. She do was my very first professional line.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, it's amazing. Yeah, there's things you remember from your very first.
Yeah, no, then I was offered Mr. Bumble in a production of Oliver.
Yes.
And I was offered it mainly because I could fit the costume. So that was that, and also at drama college, it was suggested that because of my size, it would probably be difficult to cast me, and even Della Elliott said that I probably wouldn't be taken seriously until I was about 40. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm not going to get any work. So whenever anybody offered me anything, I just said yes.
Yeah, right, okay.
So as a result, I've actually got a very broad spectrum on my CV, which is very good. And when I started out, the thing was, oh no, darling, you must specialise.
Oh.
You specialise. Well, all those specialists aren't working anymore, because now what they want is versatility.
Yeah.
And now
I
have a body that can mould to any shape.
Yeah. Now you have appeared, of course, in various TV and film programmes. Now, I was really interested to see that you have indeed appeared in the Harry Potter films, playing the Fat Friar. Now, so you don't want to get typecast now, do you?
No. If I've got a beef, I'm only really ever considered if FAT is written in front of the character reference.
Right.
So if in a script it says school teacher, nobody thinks of me. But if in the script it says fat, large, walrus-shaped school teacher, then they'll say, "Oh, Simon could fit that bill." So, I've forgotten your question now. Time card. No, right. So, but Harry Potter is a perfect example of what can happen to actors.
Yeah.
It was really good. I had to have 4 interviews, so it wasn't a case of just the phone ringing and saying, "Go down to the studios."
Right.
I had to have 4 interviews, and initially it was a contract for the first 4 films.
Right.
And for those who don't know, the Fat Friar is one of the ghosts.
Yes.
The houses of Harry Potter at Hogwarts have mascots, and the mascots are different ghosts.
I was going to ask
the Fat Friar is the ghost of Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff, of course. So what is it like to work on such a global brand as Harry Potter?
Well, at the time it was extraordinary. In fact, it was very much like now working on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But at the time, for those who can remember, it was the biggest thing that was happening, and to be associated with it was fantastic, especially for an actor like me, who at the time wasn't really that well known. Still not that well known. People only remember me if you say Blue. But, but so at the time it was fantastic. I had radio interviews, I had interviews with the Observer, Annie Leibovitz took our photographs, we appeared in Vanity Fair. It was extraordinary.
Fantastic.
But then when it came down to the actual premiere of the first film, we filmed 4.5 weeks' work, and all the ghosts were going to appear in the first 4 films. I appear for about 4 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all been edited and ended up on the cutting room floor. And in fact, my name in the credits at the end appears in the film longer than I do. But the most extraordinary thing, now I've been associated with Doctor Who, when I go to these conventions, people come with photographs of me as the Fat Friar. The Harry Potter fans, and they say, "Oh, could you?" And I completely forgot about it myself.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant. And at the greatest show in the galaxy, at Peterborough recently, I was brought some original photographs that Annie Leibovitz released herself for Fat Friar, which I'd never ever seen before. So it's brilliant. But that's what can happen to actors. You do all that work and you go with all that excitement. And I will admit, at the time, I was thinking, "Oh, this could do something for me."
Yeah, yeah.
No, it all ended up on the cutting room floor.
Well, that's a shame.
So-
I mean, what's it like working with Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe? I mean, did you have much to do with that? I mean, I know you played the ghost, but I didn't know whether you had anything that ended up on the cutting room floor that you'd worked with them.
No, the ghosts were done on green screen separately,
Right.
but you did get to meet everybody as well. And Daniel Radcliffe at the time was only about 12.
Oh wow.
We forget this, and he was delightful. In fact, I had to babysit him because he had a toothache.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah.
He had terrible tooth problem on one of the days I was there, and so I was asked to look after him whilst they got the dentist,
Oh my.
which took some time. And there was some computer game, and I'm all fingers and thumbs. And by the time I worked out how to hold the control properly, he'd be.
It finished it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Why do they do that? They seem to have such an aptitude for it. Now, obviously, it appeared in Doctor Who quite a few episodes. Actually, I was doing a bit of research the other day. Now, see whether I've got this right. Apparently, you appeared in the episodes like the River Song Marriage in River Song.
Yes.
Yes,
The
that
wedding,
was
the wedding of River Song.
Yes, and A Good Man Goes to War, of
Yes.
course, which is, and of course the Pandorica Opens.
Well, the Pandorica Opens was the first
Right.
episode I did, and it was the first moment of Dorium, and it was originally only one scene in one episode with 6 lines. That's all it was.
Really?
Yes, and at the time, although I hoped there'd be more,
Yeah.
you have no idea.
No.
You have no idea. But very fortunately, Toby Haynes, who was the director, liked what I did and mentioned it to Stephen Moffat, and then fans started saying, "We want to know a bit more. Who is this Dorian?
exactly, yeah.
Who is this blue man, and what's he doing?"
Who is that blue man?
So of course I came back to A Good
Yeah.
Man Goes to War, and so not only to do that, I was then asked to do a prequel for it,
Oh.
which appeared on the internet. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Doctor Who, I have to say, give absolute thanks to fans for asking me back, but also to Stephen Moffat for writing such a brilliant part, because Dorium is multi-layered, and I have a chance to sort of play with that and show what I can do. And they've kept most of what I do.
Excellent.
So-
That's definitely a
Yeah.
step in the right direction,
Yes.
then, Simon. I mean, obviously, I can tell just by talking to you how much you really have enjoyed the work on Doctor Who and stuff. And as you've explained, like I say, the fans are getting to know you and stuff. And I think you are sort of thrust into a world, like I say, where a very loyal following. Of fans, old and new. I mean, right from the classic Who series, right the way through to the present day. So I think you join a unique sort of family of followers and stuff. Now we're talking about that, but when you leave here today, you're off to Birmingham, aren't you? You're off to a convention thing.
Yes,
Would you like to tell us a bit
the
about that?
11th hour Star Fury convention. Matt Smith's going to be there on Sunday. It's at the Metropole Hotel in Birmingham, and it starts tonight.
Tonight. Sounds like a cue for a song, that does.
Tonight.
Interesting.
Anyway, on that note, yes.
Do you, now, Simon, I'll always like to ask this sort of question to various actors. Do you prefer live theatre work or television work? Or are you that versatile it doesn't really bother you?
Well, funny enough, I've as a result of Doctor Who, I've now got a couple of young actors that I'm supposed to be a mentor.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they pulled the wrong badge out of the bag. But, what crime they committed, I have no idea. But the thing one of them said was that he was glad that he got a panto at Christmas.
Right.
Because it was the first time he'd ever done stage work. And he said from now on, that's all he really wants to do.
Right.
I started out on the stage, so you do get the feel of an audience, and you've got a sense of what might be funny.
Yeah.
And so that helps when you're doing comedy on film and television, because as much as they may or may not want to, the crew aren't allowed to laugh when you're taking a take.
No, of course not.
So
that's
if
right.
you are doing something funny, you've got to try and sense so that you pause long enough for the audience at home
That's right,
to
you-
laugh
yeah.
before you move on, you
Yeah,
see.
exactly.
And you can't be taught that. It
That's
is
very
only
true.
the experience of having done it.
That is very true. I can speak from experience myself. 'cause
Concordia.
I did nearly 20 years of pantomime in the local Concordia Theatre, and from my notes here, actually, I was so pleased when I was researching you, Simon, that you've done pantomime and you play Dame, which is one role I've always admired. Is the Dame, and I love. I mean, I've known quite a few good dames in my time, and but isn't pantomime? I just think panto is wonderful stuff.
Panto is brilliant. but exhausting.
Yes.
Right, but if you are a character like an ugly sister or a dame, you have so many costume changes to think about, let alone the props and things, that the time does go very quickly, and it's only when you finish the run, not just between shows, it's only a couple of weeks afterwards that you really realise how much you put into it.
Exactly.
But the roar of the crowd, as they say, but it's true, and it's the kids, and sometimes you can get some real pathos in a panto. It's not just all gags and laughs,
That's
you know.
right.
And I particularly like it when I'm ugly. That at the scene where the ugly sisters tear up Cinder's invitation to the ball, I always insist that we play that straight. Have all the gags and everything, the scenes beforehand and afterwards, but that scene always must be straight. And it is the silence you can hear at the sheer shock.
Yes.
And I remember one time where he did it, and there was this silence, and it was broken when this little voice went, "It's not fair."
Oh.
It was wonderful.
Isn't it just though when you get that sort of reaction from one solitary
but
child?
but panto is a discipline.
Yeah.
And very often it looks like chaos on the stage, but the best pantos, all that chaos is
Discipline
rehearsed.
and art, isn't
Yeah,
it? And it's definitely a unique art form.
It's a discipline and also team building. Because particularly, and you've played Dame?
Not played Dame, I've played the likes of Wishy Wash, I've played the Broker's Man, I've even played Baddie as well, I've played the little henchman to
but
the guy,
with the costume changes for Dame and Ugly Sister, you really need to have a coordinated team, because sometimes you've just got to the ending of a song before you have to come back on in a different frock. And it's like a ballet. You go and if you're doing time to the music, and a lot of costumes are just Velcros, and so somebody whips it off, and then somebody else has already got the front. You put your hand in there, and zip you up and on. And very often you're pushed on, so you're on there on time.
Yeah, it's amazing, but it's fantastic.
No, but it is good. So do I prefer live performance? Yes. Do I love television and film? Yes, but it's a completely different exercise, really. And again, if you've got a lovely team around you, Doctor Who, brilliant. It is definitely a family. I know that sounds like what everybody says, but it is true.
But it is,
Everybody's a family. Each person knows what they need to do, when they need to do it by, and sometimes they even preempt what the director might want. Excellent. In films, you've got the added issue of producers always over your head, and it can be an issue sometimes when producers are only thinking of the money.
Yeah, exactly.
But never mind, there are some excellent directors out there who do some wonderful stuff.
Right. Now we're nearly at the end of our interview, but I'm quite interested in what plan. Have you got any sort of exciting plans for the future? And particularly, is there a role still you'd like to play, or are you still quite open to just doing anything that comes along, so to speak?
Well, what I can tell you is I have been sounded out for the new series of Doctor Who.
Oh, brilliant.
Right, but there's no guarantee. They're just checking that if Dorium comes back, would Simon still be interested? Bit of a daft question, but it has to be asked. But if I wasn't interested, for example, then let's give them time to recast. How dare
they couldn't do that. There's only one.
There's only one blue man.
So I'm currently in the middle of filming Les Mis.
Oh right, yes.
I'm in a scene in Les Mis, and it had to be held up for various reasons. So very luckily, but I go straight into it on Monday again. So there's that. That's going to take me to the end of next week. There is a viral. These are the new viral
things. I thought you caught that.
Yes, but there's a new viral sci-fi series coming out.
Right.
So, and at the moment it's called Vengeance.
Right.
But I think it's going to be called something else. But I'm going to be part of that, and I do. A couple of weeks' time, I'm filming an episode in that.
Excellent.
Yeah. So there's lots going on. There's lots of sci-fi conventions as well. So exciting. There's even talk of me going to Australia.
Australia, that would be good, excellent. Simon Fisher Becker, I've got to say that because I wanted to make sure I said your name correctly the right way round.
Yes.
I needed to do that. We want to thank you very much for visiting Britain's smallest hospital radio station.
Well, it's a delight to be here at Castle Mead, and I wish you all the luck in the future.
Thank you very much indeed, and listeners to Castle Mead Radio will be able to hear this podcast later on. And also, Simon's hanging around for just a little bit longer to to speak to Craig Adams, who is getting ready in his sci-fi programme. So we'll tell people to go and listen to that as well. Simon, thank you very much for coming into Castle Mead Radio, and we wish you all the best for the future.
My pleasure. Da-da-da-dum, 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 da-da-da-dum.
Thank you, lovely, lovely. Tip-top, thank you, Simon, that was lovely. Absolutely great. Can't believe I put your name round the wrong way to begin. I told you.
But I used to know how